And Avery, Trump was in New Hampshire, and he was quoting Vladimir Putin last night.
Right, he definitely was.
As an authoritative source on analyzing his legal cases.
Right. He has really had this real intense flirtation with authoritarian leaders. He has spoken to and echoed back to lines that have to do with Hitler, right? And I want to pay attention to what he said. He spoke about migrants from South America. He spoke about migrants from Africa. He spoke about migrants from Asia. He did not speak about migrants or immigrants from Europe, right?
Right.
And
poisoning the blood was the phrase he used,
right,
which is obviously an incredibly loaded phrase, like the vermin phrase, the word that he used.
And this is rhetoric that he continues to use on the trail. He has said this before. He's probably going to say it again. It is something that is reminiscent of white nationalist language. And he is calling to dark parts of the Republican Party when he does this. And that's not something that folks are going to forget come general election time.
I mean, Reince, I remember you as RNC chair kind of fighting so hard to get him to condemn David Duke when David Duke endorsed him. And I remember you in the White House trying to, keep him within the guardrails. Do you worry that, as he rushes towards this nomination, that he's going off into those places that you tried to keep him from going?
Not particularly, because I think you're all misreading the electorate. I think that the electorate is not looking for less blood. I think they're looking for more blood. I think that people are more angry about crime than they've ever been before. I think they're more angry about the border, the fentanyl, the sanctuary cities, the boys competing against girls in sports, schools out of control. I think, as I've said before, people are looking for a bigger middle finger this time than they were in 2016, and I think...
So no matter how outrageous...
You're misreading this. People are angry. And on the other side, you got President Biden, who's losing young voters, who's losing black voters. The polling couldn't be worse. And unlike Barack Obama in 2011, Democrats would have walked over glass for Barack Obama. Democrats today, they say 75%, we wish we had a different candidate. So it matters who you're running against, too. And it also matters what the state of the country's in. And this is a perfect storm.
Mr. Chairman, let me just say this. You're talking about taking millions of people off their health care, which is Donald Trump. He has pledged to do that. That's blood. That is blood. You're talking about suspending the United States Constitution, something that Donald Trump has said. Yeah, look, I get the anger part. I get the people who are frustrated with crime. I get the fact that the border need more agents, need more
Democrats
technology.
are suing the White House.
More technology. But you know what I don't get? I don't get the fact that you're willing to stand up for someone who's praising dictators.
Listen, I'm not willing to stand up.
Who is hungry to get back with Kim Jong-un.
What I'm doing here, Donna, is I am telling you what the reality on the ground is.
Right.
And there's 100,000 people in 5 states that are going to decide this election. And if you can convince me that those 100,000 people are worried about Donald Trump suspending the Constitution, look,
even though he has said that on multiple occasions.
But you have to be able to convince people that are voting that
he means what he says.
Well, then, if that's what your case is, sure. But if you really think that, it's not going to...
That this president... The president, you said that Democrats will not walk on glass. Well, they'll go through fire to protect the Constitution.
We'll see.
They will go through fire to defend
they're going through fire to see if they get someone else to run.
The flirting of black voters with Donald Trump, it is just
Well, then look at your own polls.
All right, let's go to Heidi. I like the chairman